Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and again I'm sharing with you a journal page I've created using my brand new collage sheets that are available on my website as a digital download. So this is the art therapy set. Obviously with it comes a background sheet as well, but I'm not using that in my journal. So I have cut all of the pieces out, as you can see. And I'm playing in a large Dylusions journal. So I've added some white gesso to the page, and then I'm going in with some distress oxides just to add some colour onto the background, just to get it on there quickly and have a play. So I wanted to have a try with a different colour on the background, a different medium on the background other than acrylic paint. And these happen to be by my desk because I've lent them to a friend recently. So the first colour I'm using is Faded Jeans. I love this blue. It's such a pretty blue when you get it on the page. And after that one, I'm going to be using Tumbled Glass. I'm just giving the blending sponge a wipe on that piece of kitchen paper, and then I'm just using the same sponge. I'm not changing it, because I don't mind if the colours blend a little bit, but I did wipe the excess off on the paper towel before I went on to the ink pad. So then I'm just blending that colour down the page. Really, I don't have an idea in mind. I'm just kind of going with it, really, just getting some colour down just to make a start on my page. And then I'm going in with Peacock Feathers, just a little bit of this one. You can see that ink has leaked a little bit as well. So this colour went on a bit darker than I thought it would do. I had a bit more on my blending tool, so I ended up pulling it down the page, and then because it was so much darker, I kept going and kept going. But yeah, really, I wasn't too bothered. It didn't matter so much. So once I've got that colour down, I haven't gone in with any stenciling on the top of that, which of course you could do, but I decided I wasn't going to because the images on this collage sheet are quite busy, and I didn't want to make it too busy, too much going on. So I'm just deciding where I'm going to put them. So one of the things I like to do is to try and create a bit of a border around my page using the images that I've got. So I'm working out where all these things can go so that it sits nicely together, and I've still got a bit of a border around my page, and thinking, like, I don't like that, that doesn't work. And you can see I'm just kind of working them around the page. So these paintbrushes are great for adding onto the edge of the page. I mean, you could also do something with them where you have like the paintbrushes with swipes of paint coming out of them, and you could do your writing on those. That would work really nicely. So I'm just using them to go around the edge of the page as well. So there are no rules with this collage sheet at all, not with any of them. You can mix and match, you can use parts of it and not others. Basically just, you know, go with what you want to do. And usually what I do is I position them on the page first without gluing them in place, and play around with it until I feel happy, and then I go in and glue them down after. So I'm getting ready to start to glue these things down in place. Haven't quite used everything, but that doesn't matter. So I have found that using a glue stick or some glue in like a little applicator bottle is quite good for sticking these things down. If you have laser printed your images, then obviously you could even use matte medium to stick them in place. If you have not laser printed and you've got an inkjet printer, then you need to be a little bit careful because your images will run if you get them wet. So therefore using a glue stick is probably the safest way to stick these things in place on your page. So getting them all stuck down where I want them to be, and then I can start to add some more details and some writing and different more elements onto the page too. So one way that you can change up the images is to add details onto the figures. So here I'm just adding some fun patterns onto the skirt. Just using a Posca pen. I could have done this in a really bright colour, I guess, as well. Anything goes, doesn't it? So yeah, don't be afraid to add more details to the images. You can even use stamps if you're not so confident to draw the things on yourself. But actually, it doesn't really matter. The quirkier the better with things like this kind of collage. So I'm just making those spots fill the skirt and looking at where the folds are lying in the fabric, trying to make sure that they kind of work as well. And then I am going in with my black Pilot pen. It's like a fine liner pen, and I'm just adding in some more details onto my page. I'm just making it look like those are hanging down from the top of the page. And then I've got these lovely brush marker pens. I think they're Tombow markers, and they're quite nice for adding like a bit of a shadow to different elements, just to help them stand out a bit more from the background. And then because I had it in my hand, I decided I would just do some mark making on the spaces between the paintbrushes on these images here. So really it's just playing with the space that you've got left, using mark making and patterns just to make it more and more interesting. So then I'm starting to write in my quote. So you can see on the left hand side there's that little square white piece of paper with letters styles on it, fonts on it. That's my Fontspiration little booklet, which I made. So I basically just went online and looked for different font styles that I liked, printed them out, and then when I'm doing something like this, I'll have a flip through and think, oh, which one do I like the look of? And it's nice to kind of mix and match different styles together. It gives that nice kind of eclectic look to your work. Yeah, just adds more layers of interest as well, particularly on a page like this. So I'm just writing my words down in this space on the right hand side of my page. Obviously I could have left those hanging circles off my page and I would have had even more room to write on the left hand side, but I think it's quite fun to see if you can fit your text into the spaces that you've got left around your collage. There are lots of artists who do really awesome collage like this in this kind of style. One of my favourite is Tisha Moore. If you've not come across Tisha, then go and check out her work. It is really awesome, and this is very much inspired by her work too. So then finding another place to do some writing. So on the strings of these hanging circles, I'm just sticking some more text, and again just a different font. You can see there's that little booklet there. It's just on a ring, and it just hangs on my wall where I can see it, so it's nice and easy to grab when I need that inspiration. So next I'm just adding some stripes onto the legs, because why not? And then decided the background was a little bit boring, so I've got my pale pink Posca pen and I'm just doing some different shaped circles onto the background, and that just kind of jazzes up that background a bit. Now, I think it would have worked quite well with a little bit of stenciling on the background in possibly a slightly darker blue. And with hindsight, I wish I'd done that. But actually, this worked okay. And, you know, I think if I do another background with the Distress Oxides, I probably would do a little bit of stenciling, but I wouldn't make it too bold. I'd try and keep it quite backgroundy, I guess. So then I'm going in with my black pen again and just outlining some of those circles, not all of them. just to help some of them pop out from the background. And that is it. That's the finished page. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create with my new collage sheet, and I hope you found some inspiration. If you want to head over to artjournallove.com, you can grab a set of these collage sheets for yourself and have a play. So thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you again soon.